Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? Welcome back to a brand new video. And so for today we're gonna hit up part 3 of the Arrow video collection, shelf by shelf series, collection Carnage overview, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we're gonna have to go back up to the top shelf here just for a quick second, because of course I had a lot of stuff I had to put away from the last update, and some of the items had to be placed in certain spots, so we're gonna go up there for a second. And yeah, as you can see, I'm dipping down here. Just need a little bit of a drinky here. All right, so we're gonna start right here. So if you didn't watch my last update, you didn't see these, but if you did and you watched, I guess, the last couple parts of this, yeah. So first up here is Girls Night Out. Yeah, man, this is kind of an interesting upgrade. I wasn't expecting Arrow to be releasing this. It was released by Shriek Show years and years ago. Kind of an obscure one, I guess, a little bit. I haven't actually watched the Blu-ray yet, but looking forward to re-checking that out. It's been years since I've seen it. So another upgrade that I grabbed, The Brotherhood of Satan. Fantastic movie. Can't wait to check out the Blu-ray again. I think I reviewed this one years ago on DVD. I'm pretty sure I did, actually, but yeah, great film. So but I do have reviews for these up on the channel. 12 Monkeys 4K. I came around on this one big time. Check out the review if you're a fan of 12 Monkeys. I think that it's actually a really good movie, so give that one a shot. And last up for the slip covers here is the 8 diagram pole fighter. Also have a review for this one. Shaw Brothers, classic material. Go check that out. And yeah, so we're gonna dip down into the second row here. We're gonna be starting about 4 in, because I had to, this is where we left off on the top row, these 4, so now they're down here. So we're starting right here with a classic. Straight up classic, Microwave Massacre. Oh my god, when this thing got announced on Blu-ray, I almost shit myself, man. Like, I could not believe that this thing was getting a Blu-ray release. The DVD was actually kind of hard to find. I mean, if you didn't pick it up when it first came out, it got really obscure. But man, it's a stupid ass like horror comedy. And man, there's this part in this movie where this dude is eating his lunch and he's got like a full crab, like shelling everything in this bread. Oh fuck, it's funny. It's so funny, man. It's a ridiculous movie, but the title's Microwave Massacre. Look at the cover. You're gonna get what you expect. It's pretty funny if you're into that low budget shit. Tenderness of the Wolves. Probably Yuli Lamel's best movie. I mean, I would probably say without question this is his best movie. Devon Solitaire is pretty good too, but I'm not really a huge fan of the Boogeyman, and pretty much all his Boogeyman movies are fucking horrendous. But this one's cool, man. It's a good film. You know, when I first watched it, I wasn't overly impressed with it, but I have revisited it, and I came around on this, so pretty cool film. Tenderness of the Wolves. Highly recommend it. Pretty cool stuff. Then we got The Honeymoon Killers. This is another one that I got to revisit, man. I think I watched this for the first time just a few years back, and I liked it. I wasn't in love with it, so it is one I want to recheck out. I know it is based on, I think this is the one that's based on, it's based on a true story. It's like a dramatization of the notorious Lonely Heart Killers. Yeah, exactly. I think they did change some stuff for the movies from what I remember, but you know, it is what it is. It's always an adaptation of a true story, right? So The Honeymoon Killers, got to revisit that one sometime. This is another one I want to revisit too, actually. This one right here, I didn't know anything going into it. Actually, when Arrow announced this, I had no idea what Scalpel was. And, you know, with a title like Scalpel, you would think slasher film. I mean, that's a great title for a slasher film, right? That could be like 1981 staple golden age slasher title right there, but it's actually not. It's kind of a diabolical kind of like drama / horror elements and stuff. If you want, you can read the breakdown there, kind of give you an idea, but yeah, it's a lot different than I was expecting it to be. Yeah, and I really liked it. I thought it was a really good movie, but if you're expecting this to be a slasher, you're not going to get a slasher. It's completely different. It's pretty diabolical, really, for what's going on. So, pretty cool stuff. Doom Asylum. Yes, from, was it Richard Friedman, who also did Scared Stiff, and of course, Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, which Arrow has released both of those also. which I do have both of those. This is it's such a cheesy movie, but it's so much fun. It is so much fun. I like these kind of these settings that are set in asylums and with these ridiculous killers and stupid one-liners. The music's fun in it, but yeah, Doom Asylum, pretty stupid film, but pretty fun. Madhouse, from 1981, from the golden age, the height of slasher films. Definitely not a top shelf one, but I will say I do like this movie. I think it's actually pretty decent. It's got some pretty interesting parts in it. So, but yeah, decent slasher film, Madhouse. Chill Factor. This is one that I don't think I had ever heard of until Arrow had released this one. From what I remember, I don't know. I think this might have been barely released outside of the original VHS. Okay, yeah. So it was kind of lost in VHS obscurity, which kind of makes sense to why I hadn't heard of this one. And it was probably even a rare VHS too. So Chill Factor, pretty cool. You know, the setting, you know, it's got a cold setting, slasher type thing. And yeah, the setting's pretty cool. Kills are okay from what I remember. I think there's one really good one in this, but yeah, it's worth the setting. Good thing to watch during the wintertime. The Amazing Bloody Birthday. Man, killer kids, man. Killer kids. I like the storyline. Again, you can pause that and read the breakdown if you want to. But yeah, it's basically just kids that are, you know, born on the same day during this eclipse, and it made them fucking evil. And they do nasty things, man. So it's pretty cool, man. It's, you know, you just, I don't think you'd see movies like this being made anymore, where kids are blatantly just killing people and shit. It's pretty crazy. So, but Bloody Birthday, I enjoy the hell out of that. Here's another one of Jose Ramon Laran's later films, man. This is like from 88, 89, something like that. Deadly Manor, it's like 89. Yeah, one of his like late films. Not a bad slasher film. It's just incredible how much his films changed from like vampires and things like that from the early 70s to this period. You wouldn't even know it was the same director, because he really conformed to like American slasher films in his later 80s and stuff. And yeah, completely different. But, you know, I mean, these are late entries. I mean, the slasher genre was completely kind of pretty much over at that time. I mean, the height of it has been long gone. But, you know, these guys, these foreign directors are still trying to pump these Americanized things out. And, you know, they became cult status, man, like Deadly Manor. It's okay. It's okay for what it is. I like it. Here's one that I actually really do like a lot, is The Initiation, with my girl, Daphne Zugna? She was in Spaceballs, and she was also on Melrose Place. That's actually where I know her from. Oh, it says Marky Melrose Place star. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, so, I like this movie, man, because it's set like in a mall kind of department store type thing, and I love shit that's set in malls. You guys probably know that. It sounds like a very cool duder thing to say, to be honest, but no, I really do. Dawn of the Dead's my favorite movie of all time. So, but I think the whole department store type thing, mall type atmosphere setting is really cool. But yeah, not a bad film. Here's one that I've always loved. Always loved this film, Hellgate. It's got great atmosphere. It's not a great movie. But I remember renting this way back in the day, and it came out on DVD, and it's had a few releases, but it still seems to be kind of a film that no one ever talks about, maybe because it's not really the greatest, but I have fond memories of watching it. I like the atmosphere. I like the setting of it. I like the narrative of it. You know, it's just, you know, I can see why people wouldn't love it as much as I would, but it's very nostalgic for me. But Hellgate, I love this movie. It's always a late night one for me. I'll rewatch that shit late night all the time. So, The Hound of the Baskervilles, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. I love this adaptation. Hammer film, 1959, I believe. Yeah, I think 59 Hammer. Lots of adaptations of this. I really do love this one. I mean, you can't go wrong with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, really. Can you? No, you can't. Absolutely not. So, smart Christopher Lee in a film that I absolutely adore is The City of the Dead. Great atmosphere in this movie, man. It's awesome. I love this film, man. It's really, really good. If you've never seen this, check it out. It's great stuff. It does have both the cuts on it, The City of the Dead, and the alternate US cut Horror Hotel, which had tons of like really shitty DVD releases and stuff like that. So, but yeah, The City of the Dead, cut is a longer cut. So, but yeah, great film. Christopher Lee. God, fucking atmosphere in this movie is amazing. Awesome film. Some more Christopher Lee here. We got Horror Express. Another setting I love in horror films is on trains and shit like that. I don't know why. It's like these weird kind of like subgenre settings, I guess, because they're just not overly that common. Like department stores you think would be more, like malls, they're actually not. Same with trains. There is a few here and there. I think enough. I think I may have even made a top 10 Tuesday of train horror or something like that at one time. This is probably even on it, but good stuff. Good stuff. If you've never seen it, check it out. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, here's another one. I think when Arrow announced this one, I had never seen before. I'm assuming that this one was kind of filmed in 88, released in 93. Yeah, I want to say that this one was very, very obscure, so I'd never actually checked it out. Kind of cool, man. It's about these girls that they're going to a party and stuff, and they end up in this old mine shaft. Yeah, they get carjacked by a gang of crooks and stuff like that, and then they have to battle this fucking monster and stuff like that. It's got good suspense, good build up and stuff, and I think that it's a little bit of a miss, but it's still okay. It's okay. I really like the setting of it. It's pretty cool. Scary being trapped in an old mine shaft would be nuts. Eaten Alive, man. Tobe Hooper, follow up to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I absolutely love this movie. Robert Englund, some young Robert Englund in this one. Yeah, dude, it's still amazing. It's still amazing. The alligator, the scythe or whatever you want to, fuck, there's lots of good shit in this, man. It always freaked me out, man. I don't know, it was something about why that alligator was where it was and shit. I don't know. It always freaked me out, though. It's a good film. Film I'm not like overly that fond of, but I seem to have way too many copies of, is Flowers in the Attic. I have no idea, man. V.C. Andrews' novel. I actually read the novel when I was a child, and seen the adaptation, but the book was just so much better. I know that's so cliche to say, but it's actually true. This one was a lot better. Maybe it's due to your imagination. You see things differently, and then when you see an adaptation of a story that you had a great visualization in your mind of, and it's not what you had in your mind, that's usually why people always claim the books are better, man, because your imagination is usually better than what they adapt, I guess. It's my theory on it. But Flowers in the Attic, it's okay. It's okay. Just put it that way. Yeah, it is what it is. All right, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, classic. Just absolutely classic material. Movie's awesome. It's funny. Cassandra Peterson is just, I feel like she just never ages. It's like absolutely insane. You still see her today and you're like, Jesus, man. Like, yeah, beautiful, funny ass movie. Elvira, what can I say? It's classic. It's classic. Now, I have 2 copies of The Baby, because actually I remember I bought one of these, and I actually got sent me one from a Arrow sale. I picked up like 10 or 12 movies or something like that, and somehow it was they put one in my package. I never ordered it. It was the weirdest shit. That's never happened to me with Arrow before, but I ended up with a second copy of The Baby just totally by chance. I never even got charged for it, so I'm thinking it got mixed up in my order or something. It was the weirdest thing. Anyways, I got an extra copy of The Baby. So, yeah, this is a movie right here that I don't really want to say too much about. You know, you can pause that and read the breakdown if you want. It's one of those films you got to see to believe. I think me and JP, I think we might have reviewed this one years ago on the podcast, and it really is a film you got to see to believe. It's really bizarre. It's bizarre beyond bizarre. If you've never seen The Baby, you got to see it to believe it. It's crazy. It really is. Apprentice to Murder. This is one that, you know, again, I never really knew much about going into this. All I knew is that Donald Sutherland was in this film, and it was okay. Was this movie based on a real story or something? I want to say maybe it was based on a book or some. I don't know. Someone correct me. What am I screenwriter? But I don't know if it even says anything on those lines. I might just be making some shit up and totally just telling lies right now. Who fucking knows? But basically, it's about this guy that friends this young kid, and then all this crazy shit starts happening. He kind of convinces them that they're investigating the sickness and all this type of shit in this town, and it's a pretty good tagline wasn't Magic, Murder, Madness, because it's very kind of diabolical and crazy. It's kind of a head scratcher a little bit. I liked it though. I thought it was actually pretty good. I could see why people wouldn't dig it. It's not very straightforward, to be honest, but yeah. We Are the Flesh, it's a Mexican film, I believe. Yeah, bizarre slice of Mexican cinema. From a couple years back. This is a crazy film, visually amazing. It is a little bit confusing. Yeah, the hallucinatory impact of Alejandro Jodorowsky. Yeah, that makes sense. And Gaspar Noé's Love and Enter the Void. Yeah, those things actually kind of make sense to it. If you've never seen We Are the Flesh, give it a shot. It's a pretty crazy modern film. I don't really buy a lot of these modern releases from Arrow, but I had to buy this one. This thing's kind of batshit. Very interesting. I love visual films, so I pretty much had to have that one. So going from those crazy films to Deadbeat at Dawn, Jim Bam Bever's insane revenge film. Oh man, I love this movie. I could watch this shit all the time. In fact, Jim Bam Bever is just a maniac. I feel like he's just playing himself in this movie, to be honest. Shout goes out to Jim, man. I love that guy. But yeah, Deadbeat at Dawn, if you've never seen it, it's fantastic, man. It's not a horror film. It's straight up exploitation, more action, kind of revenge type thing. But it's fucking awesome. It's amazing. Low budget, good shit. Oh, I just realized I could have had this in the Nico Masarakis section on the top shelf. Yeah, he produced this film, Bloodsided, actually starring Darth Vader, James Earl Jones. Yep, James Earl Jones. And it's very much like all of his movies, set in the Greek islands, and it's got like that type of that type of setting, that type of atmosphere and stuff like that. This one's decent. It's not one of his better films that he produced. He actually wrote this movie too. I think originally he was going to direct this, if I'm not mistaken, and he ended up not doing it, or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, it's cool. It's decent. It's a cool release. I had like a really shitty DVD this before, so that was cool to get rid of that. American Werewolf in London. This is just the standard Blu-ray. I actually do have the 4K of this also. I actually reviewed it, so if you guys follow my channel, it's somewhere. Actually, here's the Phantom of the Mall that I was just talking about. Oh, here's the American Werewolf in London. 4K right there. So anyways, that's just going to be redundant because I'll end up showing those again. So yeah, it's honestly a great film. It's not my favorite werewolf film ever. People always seem to get pissy when I say it. I'm like, it's not my favorite. I didn't say it was the greatest, that it wasn't the greatest. I mean, I think it might be a better film than The Howling, but I don't care. The Howling's still my favorite. So, but I did appreciate this movie a lot more watching it and reviewing it this time. So, but I've seen it many times over the year. I just think some of the greatest scenes are kind of dream sequences, but which me, that shit bugs me. Blind Woman's Curse from 1970, fucking awesome film. That's all I'm gonna. It's crazy. It's totally amazing. Yeah, I don't even know if that breakdown actually kind of gives it its real kudos. I don't know. It's bad shit though, man. It's Yakuza. It's like, oh, dude, it's amazing. There's so much good shit happening in this film, man. Definitely check us out. Watch for the 70s show, 1970 top 10. It's great. It's really good. Speaking of really cool films, man, Wolf Guy, Sonny Chiba. Yeah, man, Sonny Chiba in like he plays a wolf. He plays a werewolf. Yeah, like, okay, supernatural powers to solve mystery. Yeah, so he plays like, he's like the last of this like dying breed kind of thing, and he plays a cop that's a werewolf, and he's got this kind of supernatural element to it, and it's fucking amazing. This is such a weird role for Sonny Chiba. Rest in peace to Chiba, man. He was amazing. He was one of a kind. But yeah, it was definitely a different type of role for him, but very unique, very, very cool stylistic film. I like it a lot. Then we got Pulse, the Asian Pulse from 2001, which, yeah, I know we never did top 10. Yeah, so this film, this Asian Pulse is really good. This is a really good film. Happy to own this. I need to rewatch this one again. It's got some good stuff. Yeah, the same cinematographer did Dark Water, which is another amazing film, the original Asian one, not the American remake. Even though my girl Jennifer Connelly's in it, come on. Warning from Space, I just picked this one up. I have not watched it yet. All I know is like an Asian film. As Japan is rocked by mysterious sightings of UFO over Tokyo and large one-eyed aliens attempting contact, scientists collaborate to investigate the unexpected rise of extraterrestrial activity. Okay, that doesn't sound overly interesting. Unbeknownst to them, one of the aliens has already assumed human form and is about to deliver a very important message. That could be humanity's last hope for survival. Wow, I never read out whole synopsises. I was just curious because I don't think I actually ever read it before, so I had no idea what it was about. So, yeah, that is Warning from Space. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this one if you've seen it. I still have not obviously seen it. I just picked it up, so yes. We don't have to get too redundant here, do we? The Incredible Shrinking Man. Ooh, I'm gonna... sitting on my feet, starting to hurt. The Incredible Shrinking Man. I love this movie. I love this movie so much, man. I originally saw this movie when I was quite young, and I was just fascinated on how they did it. I couldn't figure out in my mind like how they made everything. I'm like, why is that? How did they make that dude so small? I'm like, that's totally a kid's mind, right? It's not that they made him small. They made everything fucking huge, right? To make him look small. It's so cool. It's like, if you actually put yourself into this situation, it'd be terrifying, dude. All the shit that you take for granted in life, like scissors and cats and just and insects and shit that are now bigger than you and can kill you. Fuck that, man. That'd be freaky. That's why I don't take shit for granted, man, because you never know. You might become the Incredible Shrinking Man or Woman. Great film. I love this movie. It's so much fucking fun. Speaking of films that are not fun but are fantastic, is Mark of the Devil. I would not qualify or just suggest to anybody, hey man, Mark of the Devil's a good one. You should definitely, that's a great date movie. You should check that shit out. It's awesome. So much fun. No, it's actually, it's pretty hardcore, man, to be honest. I mean, it's, you know, I love Udo Kier. Oh, fuck, Udo Kier, isn't that amazing? I like when they first were issuing this thing and like came with like barf bags and shit. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. But, you know, the whole burning of witches and shit, man, just, this whole time period is just insane. It's insane. I mean, it's like the epitome of religious corruption. They couldn't have said it better. I've said this so many times on the podcast. I don't want to get into it right now, but this shit blows my mind. It really does. Actually, another random modern film, but this one made my top 10 of... I thought that was on the case. What was it, 2019? It was 18. I believe it was 19 when it was... maybe it was 2020. It was a couple years back anyways. Hounds of Love. Oh shit, man. It's a pretty fucking cool film. Basically about a girl that gets abducted and goes on. But again, you guys can read the breakdown if you want to pause that. I'm not going to read this one out. Yeah, Hounds of Love. Intense, crazy film. I love these type of film, these captive, abductive type films and shit like that. I always feel like that's a really scary scenario because, again, if you put yourself into that real life scenario, because it's happened. Like, I mean, that shit happens. People get abducted, people get into these type of scenarios and shit. It would be fucking scary, man. It's really, really scary. Hounds of Love, great stuff. So I had to pick that one up. It was in my top 10. Did a review for this one recently too. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which, you know, I've come around. I can appreciate it for what it is. I'm still not the biggest fan of the actual source material. I do like, you know, the adaptation of like 31 and shit. I just like those ones better. I don't like Frankenstein learning and talking and shit. I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, it's a beautiful looking 4K. The cinematography is fantastic. It's really well made. It really is. Here's another really cool film, man. Toys Are Not for Children. It's not a horror film. I would say it's more on the lines of like psychological trauma, adherent sexuality, upon twisted tale. Yeah, so I did watch this for 1972. It's a really fucking twisted movie, man. It really is fucking. It's not horror. I wouldn't even know. I guess you could probably say it's a little bit exploitation. But it's just a mind fuck, really. It really is. It's just batshit crazy. Yeah, it screws with your head a little bit, man. It really does. This is a good film. This is a really good film. Kudos to Arrow for releasing this, because a film I'd never seen before. Toys Are Not for Children. I highly recommend that. That shit's crazy. It's really maniacal. I don't want to give anything away, but it's really nuts. Big Trouble in Little China. I also have the Scream Factory one too. I'm not sure how I ended up with both. Is this now in 4K? I don't know. John Carpenter, classic. What can I say? Jack is amazing. It's Big Trouble in Little China. It's hilarious. When I was younger, man, I could not get into this movie. I'll admit that. When I was, for some reason, I don't have a nostalgic love for this movie because, like I said, I could not get into this. I never appreciated this movie until I was older. I think it's because it was like, what the fuck is John Carpenter doing shit? Like, the movies I grew up watching was like The Fog and Christine and Halloween and shit like that. And also like this one right here, it was the tone, it was the tongue in cheek, it was the one-liners. It was really off-putting to me. But man, this is like literally one of my favorite movies. I can watch this shit all the time. It's so much damn fun. It's just ridiculously fun. This is one I actually know nothing about. I have never seen this. A thriller where nothing is black and white. I've heard this is a really good movie. Let me know down below if you've seen this one. What year does it say? 19... I don't know what year. Maybe this is 94. I'm not sure. Written by David Siegel. But yeah, so I don't really know much about this one. Let me know down below if you've seen Suitor. I think that's what it is, Suitor. All right, so it's a little bit of David Cronenberg here with Rabid, film that we've reviewed on the podcast. I love this era of David Cronenberg and his body horror and shit like that. And that artwork is just so iconic. I love that shit so much. Yeah, one of my favorites, man. Absolutely love Rabid. It's so fucking good. It really is so damn good. All right, a few Brian De Palma films here. Like I said, there's some madness to my unalphabetical order that shit's in. I do have a lot of my collection like that, but in alphabetical order, but it's certain things I just know where it is. Anyways, Raising Kane, Brian De Palma, John Lithgow, dual personalities, awesome film. This was just the standard release. I missed the special edition one. I don't know why I did that. I believe this doesn't even have the other cut on it, so I'm kind of a dummy. But I've only ever seen this cut, so I'm fine with that. So, but yeah, great film. Lithgow is Lithgow is one of those rare guys that is so good in dramatic, like, evil roles and so fucking funny in comedy. It's like, I know there's a bunch of guys. Let me know down below what some of your favorite, like, kind of dual actors or, like, you know, that can do these type of roles, you know, do that dramatic, crazy thriller role and be funny in other movies. I know, honestly, Adam Sandler he's getting better. Like, he's done some pretty good stuff even recently. There's lots of people though that have done lots of good shit, but good film. Brian De Palma. Sister is one of my all-time favorite movies. I absolutely love this movie. I think it's brilliant. It's just, man, it's amazing. It really is amazing. Margaret Kidder in the film. If you've never seen Sisters, do yourself a favor. It's classic cinema. It's amazing Brian De Palma stuff. Then we got Fascination, aka Obsession. I wouldn't say this is like one of De Palma's best films, but I really do like this though. In fact, I mean, all these De Palma films I really enjoy. But yeah, you know, it's pretty much like a lot of De Palma films. His early stuff was very, very much influenced from Hitchcock, and this is no exception. So, good film. This one's a little bit different. Fury, like a supernatural kind of angle to it. Good stuff, though. I know this one always gets shit on. I wonder if it's because it's really long. I know this one's like a long film. Yeah, like it's like 2 hours for Fury, but I think it's actually pretty damn cool, man. I don't know, man. De Palma he seems to choreograph well-made films, you know. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm always interested in his films no matter how long or what he's doing in them. Dressed to Kill, I actually just recently rewatched again. It's great, man. It's such a good film. It's such a good film. Again, you know, what he's doing. Michael Caine is brilliant in the film. But, like, really, when is Michael Caine not good in films? Even when he's phoning in his performances, like Jaws 4. Yeah. It's great stuff. Don't want to give it... If you've never seen Dressed to Kill, come on. It's an American giallo, right? So... Oh, dog's barking. Fucking up my videos again. John Travolta, Nancy Allen in Blowout. Amazing. Such a great film. What can I say? I'm sure everyone's fucking seen this shit before. Of course, Nancy Allen, I think, was married to De Palma at the time she did this. That's why she was in a bunch of these movies. But yeah, so Blowout, good shit, man. Travolta's great in this movie. What can I say? It's awesome. Don't want to go into plots and shit because this video's already 30 minutes, right? Willy Dynamite, man. Blaxploitation. This is a totally different type of blaxploitation film. It's not like what you think it's gonna be. Like, when I first watched this film, I thought it was gonna be like a straight kind of like street hustler pimp shit. It's a lot different though. It's a lot different. He's the flashiest pimp in New York. He drives a personalized purple and gold Cadillac and wears almost like catching it. Yeah. But it's done a lot different. It's done a lot differently. It's a lot more serious than you think it would be. So it's kind of interesting. I enjoyed Willy Dynamite for what it was. It's pretty cool. Then we got Black Mama, White Mama, Pam Grier. Yeah. When you are attached to each other, you have to have a title like Black Mama, White Mama. It's amazing. Yeah. Escape from prison type film. Good blaxploitation. It's good shit. It's fun. Then we got the classic Sheba Baby. Again, Pam Grier. You know, I really do one of these days need to pick up Coffee and Foxy Brown. The Arrow editions, I have the olive Blu-rays, but I had those like way before the Arrow released them, and I just never did. I know they're always on the sales. I should grab them before they lose the rights, just to have the features. What can I say? It's one of the most beautiful women ever, Pam Grier. She's amazing in everything. Yeah, I love Sheba Baby is good. It's another really good film, man. She's solid in it too. The amazing JDs Revenge. This like supernatural, like, oh man. Here, just read that breakdown right there, and then go watch it if you've never seen it. It's amazing. It's actually really cool. It's actually a really well done film. It's really kind of like, I remember watching this going, okay, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I thought it was like a straight up blaxploitation film, but it's, you know, it's got the whole supernatural angle to it and shit. It's totally different. It's pretty cool. JD's Revenge, highly recommend it. Switchblade Sisters, yeah, amazing. Yeah, Jack Hill. I know Tarantino's like a huge fucking fan of this movie. I think he released it on his Rolling Thunder label or whatever at one time. But yeah, Jack Hill, just great exploitation. He was so good at his exploitation films. It was amazing. Thinking I should probably stop this pretty quick here. The Swinging Cheerleaders, another Jack Hill film. I think this is the middle one in the Cheerleader trilogy? Or am I just tripping fucking balls? The Swinging Cheerleader... Oh, shit, I can't remember which one's which here. Shit, I think I have all of them too. Okay, and contributed to the Cheerleaders. Swinging Cheerleaders. I don't remember. But, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the second or third one, but anyways, yeah. Something like that. I'm going to have to stop this. My wife just left and my dog's going to go fucking apeshit and ruin this entire video, so I apologize. The Last American Virgin. Amazing comedy, sex comedy. Fuck, I love me some sex comedies. This is a really good one. Got some good stuff in it. Speaking of sex comedies, well, this is like 4 in a row. The classic Porkies. What can I say, man? It's just done on how you should do it. Bob Clark, rest in peace to Bob Clark. Black Christmas. Yeah, amazing. That scene right there, we all know that scene. Come on. Why would you put your penis in there? Come on. I get it, but the Burbs. Fucking Dante's The Burbs. It's classic shit. I can watch this movie all the damn time. Man, I love this. I remember watching this movie when it first came out. I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with this shit. Tom Hanks. There's so many good character actors in this movie. It's just ridiculous. It's funny. It's dark. It's got the great kind of like cul-de-sac suburbia setting. It's perfect, man. The Burbs is amazing. Then we got Matinee, which this is a really damn cool release. Another film from Joe Dante. And the cool thing about this film is that it has Mant, the film within the film, right? And it's got the full-length version of the film as a feature. Now, how damn cool is that? Because you always see movies that have movies that are made for the inside of the movie. But, you know, they never make the full thing. So, you got Mant. But yeah, John Goodman, one of my all-time favorite actors. I love this movie. This is such a cool fucking movie, man. If you've never seen Matinee, give it a shot, man. It's amazing. And we are going to leave... That's the last one. This is the last one. John Landis' Schlock, which... You know what, man? I think it's okay. I'm not like the hugest fan of schlock. I never really was. I picked it up because I hadn't seen it in years, and I thought I'd give it another shot, but, you know, it turns out I'm still not like the hugest fan, but, you know, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, Landis' sense of humor is a little bit different at times. It is good, but, you know, but, yeah, schlock. All right, I can't handle that barking anymore. That is fucking irritating as shit, so we are going to stop there, but we're at a good time anyways, so it's about as much as I did in the first video, and maybe the second, so kind of halves up this shelf, and I will see you guys in part 4. Leave comments down below, you know, your thoughts on the films, and whatever else you guys want to say. Make sure to hit that like button. That really helps this stupid algorithm. And I'll see you guys in the 4th part here when I get back to town. And because I'm always out of town like every 2 days. I always shoot these videos when I'm in town for like a day or two. So I will talk to you guys later. And as usual, deuces!